terraforming, a generic way to possibly build, and zoos. Nah, I'm just kidding. Or am I? Here on Cobra TV. So some awesome information came out of the Eurogamer article that, you know, a lot of it is stuff that we already knew, but they kind of explained everything in a broader sense, I guess, and like took some of the things like destructible environments. We already knew that we had destructible environments, but we never knew how much. And like in the podcast with Game Informer, he was asked, will I ever be in a situation where I'm going to have to kill myself if I get stuck? And Sean Murray replied, no, that we consider that a bug. Plus you have your jetpack and you can deform the land. So meaning if you're stuck and if you try and use your jetpack and you can't get out because there's something above you, then you could just move a rock, you know, just by disintegrating it. So we already knew that there was destructible environments, but this article opens up a lot of it. And I think inadvertently gives us some really good ideas of what we can do. And in this article, there's a part where it says, as we skim over previously unexplored land masses and alien-looking liquid expanses, it's easy to imagine landing, setting up a base camp, and yes, never returning to your ship again. Eventually, he lands in what looks like a crystalline tundra, steps out of the cockpit, and takes out a scientific instrument of some description. Now, I think he's talking about the multi-tool. I don't know who was in the room with him, but it couldn't have been somebody experienced with games or No Man's Sky. I mean, he takes out a scientific instrument of some description. I don't know. I mean,
any No Man's Sky fan would know to call that a multi-tool.
Anyways, so a thing that we haven't shown off yet is resources, Murray says. We're not generally showing this, and it will look better in the finished game. But you can scan by pressing the square button, and you can see certain resources, and you can look around. And as Sean scans the environment, cubes of collectible materials are outlined against the terrain. So, sort of like what we've seen in the one of the E3 trailers, where he comes out of the cave in Araya 5, and you see him stacked up against the wall there. But in this instance, where he's talking about scanning, and it looks like the cubes are underneath the surface. You could just tell that they're there. He then fires projectiles towards them. Now, I don't know if he's talking about the plasma grenades that they said we're going to have, or if this is a new upgrade to the multi-tool. Yeah. And he destroys great chunks of the scenery, and he explains that there's a shimmery sci-fi sound effect. But that's not the good part. The good part comes, you know, here just a few seconds when he says, you could see the terrain is destructible, which is something that we haven't shown people before. So the interviewer then asks him, so you can terraform? And then Sean Murray responds by saying, we're not sure how much we want to say because I don't want it to become the thing. Even showing this, I'm nervous because people will think, oh right, it's like Minecraft. And then it becomes that. It's the Minecraft in space game. Now, at first, this really didn't draw me into what they were trying to say until I got to much later in the interview. We do know that terraforming, like terraforming a planet that does not have an atmosphere to make it like Earth, is one way to terraform. But what is another way of terraforming?
Another description of terraforming is making not necessarily only land, but something look natural. So like if you make an island out in the middle of a lake and you want it to look natural, then you would do some terraforming to make it look like it was actually generated by the game.
So pretty much changing the environment around you.
Changing the environment around you to make it look normal. In whatever definition of normal that is.
or pretty much just terraforming it or changing it in the way that you want it to be.
Yeah.
You know, if you just want a mountain to look a certain way with a certain point, terraforming that mountain is changing the shape of it. So there's two definitions of terraforming, two ways to look at it. So then we get down here to the rest of the article where he says, I find myself doing just this, being on a mountain and scanning and just destroying everything around me. Doing the usual stupid things of drilling a hole and having an animal fall into it. Stuff like that keeps me amused. And when people are like, what do you do in No Man's Sky? The reality is, for some people, just that. And that's fine. So we now know that we can drill. I mean, what does he mean by drill? Maybe that's an upgrade for the multi-tool.
Yeah. Or maybe a ship can have like a drill on the front of it or something. Maybe.
But that's just one of the cool things that are in the article, you know, the drilling. But the coolest, when we go back to the terraforming, blowing holes that are big enough to have animals fall into it. Not only can that actually make you create or give you the ability to create a makeshift zoo, but if you can blow holes in things, drill, you could actually take a mountain, carve it out from the inside, and make your little base or your little house or whatever. And
I thought about that too, like kind of make an anthill or something like that. Just kind of drill down and then like make a room underground somewhere. Just have
that'd be really cool.
A little space base.
I'm sure there's a limit to how far down you can go, but if you use a mountain, it's already above ground. So I'm pretty sure that you could carve out your anthill or carve out a house, you know, with staircases. You know, if you know what you're doing, if you know how to drill and blow things the right way, I'm sure people are going to get good at doing something like that. And since he doesn't really want to talk too much about that, tells me that you can do that.
Yeah.
So a really generic way of building, I guess. It's not confirmed, but maybe. And if you want a little zoo, just drill some holes into the ground, have animals chase you or chase them until they fall in it. And then maybe have some meat-eating animals chase you and have them fall in the hole and watch them just eat up all the other animals. That'd be pretty funny to watch.
Have some like a animal arena going on.
It talks about resource gathering, and he talks about being able to do it from a distance. So he wants to make it fun, and they're still tweaking the resource gathering and everything. Now he also talks about how he has this grenade thing, but we already knew that. He said it would be more like a plasma ball. We already knew that too. You'll just have to trust me, and that blows holes in the terrain. And if you're really good, Sean expertly levels the surrounding scenery. So yeah, I mean, you can terraform the environment. You can change the environment how you want. And as he said, you can expertly, if you're really good, you know, level the right things or blow holes in the correct spots. So I think that's really cool. Imagine a Minecraft type No Man's Sky, but it doesn't give you the tools to build. That you actually have to get good at destroying things and building whatever you want. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, me too.
So that's pretty good. I mean, take this information how you want. But the fact is that we can blow up the terrain. We can drill holes. We can blow holes in things. We can level things. So with that in mind, if you're good enough, clever, imaginative, you could actually do that to a mountain and make something out of it. And I'm really curious to see how many people are going to do that and what people can actually make out of that. And I like the idea that there's no tool to build with, that you have to use actual real creative thinking to do so.
Kind of like sculpture.
Yeah, kind of like sculpting. Exactly like sculpting. That's amazing. That's an amazing way to put it. One thing that I wanted to run by you guys real quick is a lot of people don't like the 30-minute vids. Well, it's not that they don't like it. They don't have time. I would like your opinion. Are the vids too long, or would you prefer shorter ones? Or one of the things I'm thinking about doing is doing a 5-minute recap of the last 2 videos that I do a week. And that way the people that don't have time to watch a 30-minute video will be able to catch up in that 5 minutes. But some of you, a lot of you are going to already know those things that I talked about. So let me know if that would ruin the show if I uploaded a 5-minute video talking about things that I already did. Another thing that we are going to do is a frequently asked No Man's Sky question video. I see a lot of new people coming in here and they're asking questions that the answers are out there. And I was thinking about doing a video of answering some of those frequently asked questions. Also, tell me if that would be something you would like to see. As always, you guys know I love you. Thank you so much for watching these videos. Thank you so much for being a part of this community. You are all amazing and are very important to me. I love you guys. I'm still collecting everybody's fan art for No Man's Sky. Next week, I'm going to do that upload. So add me on Facebook or Twitter and send me your pictures, and I'll put them in the video next week. Until next time.